Imagine yourself lying on the ground. You have no food, no shelter, and the only water that is available isn't even clean enough for you to drink. Your body is starting to use fat as its main energy source. And then, once that's completely gone, your muscles begin to deteriorate as well. You become so weak that you can't move a single muscle, not even to do something as simple as opening and closing your eyelids. And you become susceptible to many infectious diseases, and you can't do anything to stop them. Starvation is a form of malnutrition that is occurring in men, women, and children throughout Africa. Today I would like to inform you about what is causing starvation in Africa, the process that individuals are going through, and along with some of the symptoms that is occurring in this process. To begin, I will talk about the causes of starvation. There are a variety of things that are causing starvation to occur in Africa, and some of these include poverty, the drought, and some inadequate living conditions, and it's also an effect from the Civil War. One of the main causes is poverty. According to Missionaries of Africa organization, in the sub-Saharan area, about 1/3 of the population is undernourished, and it has the world's highest proportion of people living in poverty at about 48%. Missionaries of Africa have also found that in Africa as a whole, almost half live on less than $1 per day, and that the number of people living in poverty has grown from 220 million in 1990 to 300 million in 1998. Another major cause of starvation in Africa is the drought and famine. Fleshman M. from Africa Recovery states that a 2-year drought with the widespread poverty has interfered with the production of food, and it has depleted the food reserves in southern Africa. As recorded by Missionaries of Africa, approximately 65% of Africa's agricultural land suffers from the drought. To add to their research, Missionaries of Africa state that in many parts of Africa, the production of food depends upon the intense manual labor of every family. However, when vast areas of Africa are being dislocated by war or adults die from the AIDS epidemic, no one is able to work the fields and not enough food is being produced. According to Gal T.L., in recent times, the drought and famine of the 1980s is continuing to this day in Amhara, and it has affected their crops immensely. Because the new government that took over in 1991 is unsympathetic to people of Amhara, they are suffering hardships from the disastrous climate along with political discrimination. The final cause of starvation in Africa is an effect from the Civil War. John Wiley & Sons, Inc. claims that in Angola, the economy has emerged from a long anti-colonial struggle and a destructive civil war, and it has suffered through more than 25 years of armed conflict. As stated by Galtiel, Angolan living conditions have worsened as a result of the Civil War, and healthcare and medical facilities have been degraded as well, which is causing the diseases to spread throughout the country, which can result in starvation. Now that we've discussed some of the causes of starvation, I will move on to the process that is occurring in each individual. No matter what the cause is, the same process is occurring, and it occurs in 3 stages. The McGraw-Hill Company states that the first stage of starvation, fats are decomposed into fatty acids and glycerol can be used to make small amounts of glucose formed by amino acids. So this means that the body is using these fatty acids and amino acids as its main source of energy. The company claims that the second stage can last several weeks. This is when fats have become the main source of energy, along with the proteins that are not essential for survival. Also, according to McGraw-Hill Company, the final stage of starvation begins with when the fat reserves have completely deteriorated and proteins are switched to the main source of energy. They stated that muscles are the body's main protein source, and therefore they deplete very rapidly until the end of the stage when essential proteins are used as the body's energy source, and then their cells are losing their functions. They also stated some of the symptoms of starvation. So in addition to McGraw-Hill Company's input on the process of starvation, they list some of the symptoms. The main symptoms include weight loss, apathy, which is like weakening of muscles, and an increased vulnerability to infections. Most people don't die directly from starvation. They usually die from the diseases that they get when they're vulnerable. Other signs include changes in hair color, flaky skin, and swelling of the abdomen. The McGraw-Hill Company also states that during the process of starvation, the ability to consume normal amounts of food will decrease because the stomach is also shrinking. In conclusion, starvation is a rising cause in Africa. As we've seen, there are many factors that are causing it to occur, and whether it's from poverty, drought, inadequate living conditions, or it's an effect from the Civil War, each individual's body is going through the exact same process, and there are signs that occur when it is happening. It's very devastating that so many people are going through this process, and it's been claiming the lives of many men, women, and children throughout the continent.